Hi there, welcome. This is Shruti, and in today's video, I want to share with you my Pinterest strategy that gets me millions of monthly views completely organically on autopilot. Now, keep in mind that when it comes to a Pinterest strategy, it's going to be different for one account versus the other because each account has different types of content, is targeting a different type of audience, and probably has a different type of traction or growth on the Pinterest platform. But the things that I want to share with you today are things that you can implement right away, even if you're just getting started. And I'm going to be sharing exactly why you need to implement them as well. Now, the number one tip that I have for you when it comes to growing your Pinterest account this year is to be creating a regular, fresh content every single day. Now, I recommend creating anywhere from 3 up to 5 fresh pins per day. If you're just starting out, or let's say have a couple of blog posts or landing pages on your website that you want to promote. If you have more content, such as you have hundreds of blog posts, you can absolutely be creating 10 or even up to 20 fresh pins per day. Now, what I do recommend is not to go over the board and create hundreds of pins per day, as that is not really sustainable in the long run without having some kind of a team in place. So if you're a solopreneur or you have a small team and you want to be mindful of your time, I would recommend starting out with, let's say, 3 fresh pins per day and then moving that number up through testing and tweaking and seeing what is working on Pinterest. So if you feel that you have the time and the bandwidth to create more fresh content, which is specifically fresh images for Pinterest, you can absolutely go ahead and do that. But if you feel like that's already too much, then I would recommend pinning at least 3 times a day on Pinterest in order to keep the traction going on your Pinterest account. Another thing we've been recently experimenting with and I've had a lot of success with is creating idea pins. Now, idea pins are simply story pins that stay on the top of your profile, and because Pinterest is moving a lot towards video, it's consistently been pushing out idea pins. Now, you can create multiple types of idea pins. You can create idea pins which are the standard pins, which are just a set of slides of images and you walk people through something or maybe show them a tutorial. Another type of an idea pin would be something where you use video. So for example, if you create a video like this, you could repurpose that on Pinterest as an idea pin and add some text and content which is relevant and then share that with your audience. Another way you can create idea pins is to simply take pictures or videos of your products and then tag your products in them so that anyone who clicks through to your profile or through to your pins is able to then go to your website, buy that product, check it out, etc. And another way for you to create idea pins is to simply add in the affiliate links if you do have the functionality available in your country, because it really will depend where you are based. So if you're based in the US, for example, you should have access to be able to add affiliate links from other websites in order to promote them together with your idea pins. Now, what idea pins do is that they essentially get you more eyeballs in a short period of time. So just as we have seen on Instagram or on TikTok, short videos are all the trend, the same way on Pinterest, idea pins is what Reels is to Instagram at the moment. So what happens when you create idea pins regularly, and by regularly, I don't mean every single day. You can start with pinning, let's say, once a week. When you start doing that, you start to see a faster traction on your account because you're putting out the new features that Pinterest is excited about, and that automatically gives you a lot of organic pull in the search engine. Moving on, the third tip that I have for you for growing your Pinterest this year is to be creating new boards with intention. So instead of just creating boards which you, let's say, have had around for the last couple of years, which is just gathering dust that you haven't pinned to in forever, maybe you can go in and update some of those boards. So you can add in new keyword ideas, you can add in some new content of yours, or move your pins from your other boards to some other ones, depending on how relevant they are. So what's really, really important when it comes to having a strong personal board strategy is that you create these boards with the intention that someone on Pinterest is going to find them with. So let's say you have a bakery business and you want people to find your specific bakery business related boards. That means you're going to have specific tutorials and recipes that are going to belong in each of these boards. So the best thing for you to do if you've been on Pinterest for a while is to look into all the boards that you have, check which ones are relevant, check which ones you haven't been pinning to in a long time, maybe merge the boards that you haven't been pinning to or are too similar in content, and or you can also create new boards in order to get some new eyeballs to your content. So let's say that you want to promote your old content and you want to create fresh pins for them, but you don't want to keep saving them to the same boards over and over again. In this case, you can still promote those old links on new boards. So you can create, let's say, a couple of boards every few months in order to get some fresh eyeballs and some fresh juice going on Pinterest. Now, the fourth tip that I have for you when it comes to growing on Pinterest this year is to leave group boards that are spammy. Now, group boards used to be all the rage like 5 years ago when this was a huge thing where you could leverage and growth hack them into, growing your audience. And to some extent, you still can do it, but you can only do it with high quality group boards that actually have some good content which is getting discovered. So I would recommend that you leave group boards which are creating either spammy content or where you're not really getting any repins, because staying in those group boards is not really serving any purpose. It's not getting you in front of new new audiences, it's not getting you any new traction, and because of the low quality of the other pins that are posted in that group board, that might lead to lowering the ranking of your account as well. So I would recommend every 3 months to look into the group boards that you have and eliminate any of those group boards, or just leave the group boards that you feel are not really adding value to your current strategy and to your current audience. The fifth tip that I have for you for growing on Pinterest this year is to test what works. Now, a lot of people want a simple solution where you say, hey, do XYZ and you are going to get millions of monthly views. But the truth of the matter is that no strategy is as simple as that. You do need to test, tweak, and optimize the strategy for your own account. So like I said, even though there are other Pinterest gurus out there who will tell you just do this and you're going to be amazing, that is not something that I share with my students inside of my program PINFLUENCER Academy. In fact, I share with them step by step how to think about creating a custom Pinterest strategy, as well as implement that for their account based on where they are, how much content they have, and how much traction they're seeing on Pinterest. Because the truth is, if you're a beginner with less than, let's say, a couple of hundred followers and you have 3 blog posts to promote on Pinterest, you are not going to need the same strategy as someone who has 200 blog posts or has 500 products to sell via Pinterest. These accounts all need a different strategy based on what is working. And this is where testing is so important. Without testing for what's working on your account, you don't have the data or the knowledge in order to try out something new. And to be honest, that is exactly how I grew my Pinterest accounts, by consistently testing and checking out what was working for which audience, and then tweaking that into different niches and testing that in different accounts. That is something you absolutely must do this year if you haven't done that already, or if you haven't been doing that. Okay, the next tip that I have for you is to focus on video pins. Now, it doesn't matter whether you put in video pins as the standard pins, where you just upload them from your account and you add tags and you add a link and so on, or you create video pins through idea pins. I have seen success with both of these strategies, where we mix up our regular pinning schedule with these 3 pins. So we create, for example, for a website or a blog, you would be creating a standard pin, which is just an image pin. You can also create a video pin, and you can also create an idea pin, which can be an image or a video. When it comes to having a product-based business where you are selling products, you can add product pins as the 4th type of pin. And thanks to the latest analytics updates on Pinterest, you're actually able to see the impact of each of these different types of pins and see which ones are driving you the most clicks and engagement. The reason I recommend video is because Pinterest is not alone in promoting video. There is a huge demand in the market for video. Just think about how much time you spend every single day on Instagram or TikTok or even YouTube, and then you will understand why Pinterest is also promoting video as a format, because there's a huge demand from the consumers, users, and potential customers to see video content before they make purchase decisions, or before they decide to go and check out a blog or read a website or buy a product or a service. So make sure to implement video in your Pinterest strategy this year if you haven't done that already. Now, if you're using a tool such as Canva, they come with excellent free as well as paid templates, which you can leverage to get started with video. All you need to do is to upload your videos to the Canva account, create and edit them within those specific Pinterest video templates, and then you can simply upload those pins to your Pinterest account and wait for magic to happen. Okay, my final tip for you is to repeat what works. Now, I've seen people jump from one strategy to another without really giving it time to see whether it works or not. Now, if you are, let's say, pinning 5 times a day and you have been doing that for 1 month, you have a certain amount of data that you have inside of your account that you can leverage to create your strategy for the next month. Don't just hop and jump from one thing to another every single week and then, complain about the results not happening. They're not likely to happen if you just keep jumping from one Pinterest strategy to another. So I highly recommend, first of all, understanding the numbers and the data on your account, whether that is through Pinterest Analytics or checking your Google Analytics, or even checking out your Shopify or your store analytics to see which pins are driving you the most clicks and traffic and sales. And once you have an idea of what exactly is working on the platform, which after a few months you definitely should have access to that data, then you can start creating content which is similar to the content that was already working. Because why do you want to create a new hamster wheel for yourself over and over again? Once you know which pins are working and which pins or types of pins are driving traffic and clicks over to your website, then just repeat those and create more of that or similar content. Now, I share the exact steps you need to get started on Pinterest and leverage Pinterest for growing your traffic, leads, and sales inside my free new masterclass. If you're interested, do check out the link in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.